Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and the end of last week, one of my favorite web engines did a major update, and that is Babylon. BabylonJS just released a version 9, and to be honest, if I was going to create a web-based 3D title, I would either be using this or Play Canvas. They're my two favorites out there, and I would actually probably choose this one just because of its solid support, its growing feature set, and it's basically being open source since the very beginning. So what we're looking at is one of the examples of what is new in this release. BabylonJS 9 added a ton of new features. The first one you're seeing right here, this is clustered lighting. This is a way of speeding up the lighting. Lights are grouped into scenes. It makes your rendering process so much faster. Next up, we have this. What you're seeing here is textured area lights. By the way, I'm going to show you about a half a dozen examples from this particular release, but the truth of the matter is there is so much more going on here. What you see here, this is a texture being used as a light source. Yes, this is actually basically megalights, which were just added, or part of megalights, which were just added in Unreal Engine 5.7, I think it was. So yeah, you can use a texture, use the emissive properties of that texture as a lighting source in your scene. Very cool stuff. By the way, for all these things, you do have this playground. Source code available, shows you exactly how what you're seeing was created. Lovely, lovely documentation and materials available for BabylonJS. Next up, brand new feature across the board. This is a new node-based editor for creating particle systems. It's called the Node Particle Editor. Very straightforward there. And what you see here, a node-based structure, and here are the various different nodes that are available over here. They all go together to create this particle system over here. And you can see the results of it in action down there. So you can see how long they last, the emission power, and so on. You can edit one of these things, get results immediately. And then you can change out the nodes as they go through. So for example here, if I wanted to change out the texture of this property, I could do so. So here we see, all right, let's just grab, I don't know, a random thumb image there, and you see the immediate results of it down there. So you can use these various different nodes. Once again, literally just drag and drop them into your scenes. You probably know how node-based editing works at this point in time. It creates a graph for you that you can then use in your game. So a visual particle system thing, and then you can export out the results over here, or actually take the results out as a URL, which you could then load that way, although texture data is not serialized that way by default. The next one we got here, we've got a multiple demonstration going on here. This is the new volumetric lighting system in action. On top of that, well, we got a couple of other things being showcased here as well. First off, we have a new inspector. So over here, you can open this guy up. There is your inspector. So this is called Inspector 2.0. It allows you to go through all of the various different things in the scene. So you can say the volumetric lighting. You can toggle that on and off. As simple as that. You can also, again, change the properties of said item. You got a number of properties available down below. But the other thing I want to showcase here, let's turn the volumetric lighting back on, is we now have something new called frame graphs. This is basically a programmable graphic pipeline. This is a very trendy thing. In some cases, certain game engines are moving away from this. But you see over here, you have the various different parts of the frame graph down here. And I can come down here and I can edit the graph. And this is, again, another visual node system. This is for handling the render graph. So how rendering happens, you can customize the rendering pipeline right here using this visual graph-based system. Very cool new stuff there. So again, a number of demonstrations here. We have the new inspector system available here, Inspector 2.0. We have the new volumetric lighting system here. There are other demos of it available, by the way, that are a little bit less blinding. And then, of course, we have the new frame graph system available down here. Very cool in that regard. Next up, we have this. This is animation retargeting. You can see your animation over here on the right. You can see your model over here on the left, and I can go ahead and retarget that animation. So I could come up here, and I could say, all right, we don't want the goblin. We want Ready Player Me character in, like so, and then once again, retarget. And you got control over all the various different pieces to retarget of that animation, the speed of that animation, so you can speed it up over here. It's not going to speed up until I retarget it over there, but boom, retarget, and then you can see faster. And then we could go ahead and say here, let's change to a different animation completely. There you see the results. Once again, retarget, and then boom, it is in. So we got dynamic and animation retargeting added in this release. Very cool once again. It's pretty amazing how much they actually managed to pack into this release because, again, I'm just selectively choosing a couple of demos to show off here. Now, the next one we have, this is a Gaussian splat. This is basically a way of scanning the world in 3D, get these super hyper resolution objects. So you can see here, there is the world that was scanned. This was the target of the splat right there. And you can now load splats in. And splats are literally, you see over here on the code, a splat is literally just an SPZ file that was loaded in this case from a URL. So if you want to work with splats, you can do that. There's a number of new features here, including editable splats and so on. Lovely stuff they've added there. Another thing that they've done, and I don't really have the details here, but in Babylon.js 8, they added the editor. This is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. You can download the app. The app is an Electron-based app. Now, interestingly enough, I don't think there is a browser version of this. You actually have to go ahead and download it. But this is a Unity-like editor for creating and composing scenes. So if you've been waiting for a visual editor for Babylon, that was added in the previous release. And that's been something that I've been waiting for a very long time. That was a big advantage that Play Canvas had over Babylon. And I use the word past tense because now they have an editor as well. It's available at editor.babylonjs.com. So it's kind of a secondary project here, but now it's kind of being treated as a built-in feature as well. So they've done updates to and improvements to the editor to go along with the 9 release. And then that's kind of it. So if you're interested in learning more, BabylonJS.com. And as I mentioned earlier on, this was just scraping the surface of what was in this release. So again, we got clustered lighting. This is area lights using a texture as an emissive light source. The new node particle editor, but we also have particle flow maps and attractors. We've got volumetric lighting. So I showcased it here when I showcased frame graph there, but also you've got options there for like doing dust in your scene and so on. So some great light options there for volumetric lighting. Animation retargeting, advanced Gaussian splat support, so a number of different options there for handling Gaussian splat data. Then we've got, again, improvements to the editor. They don't go into the specifics of what they did, so the editor received updates and improvements to keep pace with the latest engine features. So they basically updated the editors, so I imagine it now supports the volumetric lighting, etc. Again, improvements, we now have Inspector version 2.0. This is a rebuild of the debugging and inspection tool. New Inspector has a modern extensible architecture built on service-oriented model with a full React-based UI component, supports overlays, inline layout modes, light and dark themes, fully extensible through static and dynamic extensions. Developers can now add custom panels, toolbar items, property editors, and so on. So if you want to hook into the Inspector and make it do more stuff for you, you can. We also have updates to the viewer. Then we've got playground. That's what the interactive thing that we use for all these, except for that one. This here is the playground, kind of core to the experience. It had a number of different updates as well. Large world rendering there. So very large world, 32-bit floating point numbers lose precision. So now they have moved that up in size. So if you're creating something like universe scale, you are good to go there. Geospatial camera. So all new geospatial camera, a purpose-built camera designed for orbiting a spherical planet. Then we've got 3D tiling support. This is built on an open standard by Cesium. I've covered them a couple of times in the past. At least with when they released for Unreal Engine, but I think they might have released for other game engines as well. I know I've definitely covered Cesium in the past, but they have an open standard for these massive streaming data sets. If you're trying to like bring in a pre-rendered city type thing, you can bring them in as 3D tiled support. They do support that as well. Physically based atmospheric rendering support, open PBR support, dynamic image-based lighting shadow support, signed distance field or SDF text rendering, which basically gives you crisper, cleaner text at all resolutions, an outline renderer, so if you're going for that anime look, stylized outlines to your meshes in the scene, nav mesh updating, the audio engine got improved as well, 3MF supporter, and that is the new stuff. And adding to all of the existing features here, this is a robust game engine. It is a wonderful engine, entirely open source, by the way. So if you want to go ahead and check this one out, it's available under the Apache 2 license. This is a popular project, though. If you like what they do, come in and drop them a star. But I have to say, that was a darned good update. One of the most impressive I have seen in a very long time. Just the number of features that they jammed into this release is It's very impressive. So, ladies and gentlemen, have you checked out Babylon in the past? If not, Babylon 9 is definitely the time to give it a shot. The editor being there as of 8, the new tools, the new inspector, and again, all those new rendering features, the customizable graphs for changing your rendering pipeline, all kinds of great things here. I'm curious, if you have never looked at it before, do give it a look. And if you like it, let me know. Comments down below what your experience was like, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.